Once upon a time, in a world where the sea, ocean, fishes, Arctic, rivers, mountains, and sky were all intertwined, there lived a young mermaid named Marina. Marina had long golden hair and shimmering green scales, which sparkled like the sun dancing on the water. Marina lived in a beautiful underwater kingdom with her family, including her mother, Queen Coral, and her father, King Neptune. One day, Marina was swimming in the ocean when she saw a school of fish swimming above her. She followed them up to the surface and saw a magnificent sight. The sky was a deep shade of blue, and the sun was shining bright, making the ocean sparkle and glisten. In the distance, she saw a mountain range with snow-capped peaks. Marina had never seen mountains before, and she was curious. She swam closer to the shore, and there she saw a river flowing into the ocean. She followed the river upstream, and soon she found herself in a dense forest. The trees were tall and green, and the leaves rustled in the wind. Marina had never been in a forest before, and she was amazed. As she swam further upstream, she noticed that the river was getting smaller and smaller. Soon, it was just a tiny stream. Marina knew that she had to go back to the ocean, but she didn't want to leave the forest. She decided to explore a bit more before heading back. As she swam deeper into the forest, she heard a loud roar. She turned around and saw a huge grizzly bear coming towards her. Marina was scared and didn't know what to do. She tried to swim away, but the bear was too fast. Just as the bear was about to grab her, a bald eagle swooped down and attacked the bear. The bear ran away, and Marina was safe. The eagle landed on a nearby branch, and Marina swam over to thank him. The eagle introduced himself as Sam and asked Marina why she was so far from the ocean. Marina told Sam about her curiosity for the mountains and the forest. Sam offered to take Marina on a tour of the mountains and the sky, and Marina eagerly accepted. Sam flew Marina high up into the sky, and they saw the world from a different perspective. They saw the mountains, the rivers, the forests, and the ocean. Marina was amazed by the beauty of it all. After the tour, Marina thanked Sam and said goodbye. She knew that she had to return to her underwater kingdom, but she promised herself that she would explore more of the world above the ocean. When Marina returned to her kingdom, she told her mother and father about her adventure. Queen Coral and King Neptune were proud of the daughter and allowed her to explore more of the world outside their kingdom. Marina continued to explore the world above the ocean and made many new friends, including a group of penguins in the Arctic and a family of dolphins in the river. She learned that the world was full of wonder and that there was always something new to discover. And so, Marina lived happily ever after, swimming and exploring the world, always curious and always full of wonder. As Marina continued to explore the world, she encountered new challenges and obstacles. Once, while swimming in a coral reef, she found a school of fish trapped in a fishing net. Marina knew she had to help them, so she enlisted the help of her friends, including a seagull named Sandy and a sea turtle named Tilly. Together, they worked tirelessly to free the fish from the net, and in the end, they succeeded. Another time, while exploring the Arctic with her penguin friends, Marina came across an oil spill. The oil had covered the ice and was suffocating the wildlife. Marina knew she had to act fast, so she worked with the penguins and other sea creatures to clean up the oil spill and save the animals. It was hard work, but in the end, they were successful, and the Arctic was restored to its natural beauty. Through her adventures, Marina learned that the world was full of beauty and wonder, but it was also fragile and in need of protection. She vowed to do everything in her power to protect the environment and the creatures that lived within it. As Marina grew older, she became a leader in her underwater kingdom. She worked tirelessly to promote conservation and protect the oceans and all the creatures that lived within them. She also continued to explore the world above the ocean, always learning and always discovering new things. As Marina grew older and became a leader, she realized that she could not do it alone. She needed to inspire others to join her in her mission to protect the oceans and the creatures that lived within them. Marina began to speak out about the importance of conservation and environmental protection. She traveled around the world, meeting with leaders and activists and sharing her message of hope and change. Marina's message resonated with people from all walks of life. Children were particularly inspired by her message, and many of them began to take action to protect the environment in their own way. Some started beach cleanup clubs, while others organized protests against oil drilling and other harmful practices. Marina was overjoyed to see so many people joining her cause. Through her work, Marina became known as a champion for the environment, and her efforts were recognized by leaders around the world. She was invited to speak at the United Nations, where she delivered a powerful speech about the importance of protecting the oceans. Her message inspired people all over the world to take action, and many countries began to implement stricter regulations to protect the environment. In the end, Marina's legacy lived on long after she was gone. Her message of hope and change inspired a new generation of environmental activists, who worked tirelessly to protect the oceans and the creatures that lived within them. Marina's love for the world and her tireless efforts to protect it had made a lasting impact, and her memory would live on forever. Marina's legacy also inspired the creation of a new organization dedicated to ocean conservation. The organization was named after Marina and aimed to promote sustainable use of the ocean's resources, protect marine biodiversity, and reduce the impacts of human activity on the ocean. The organization worked to create marine protected areas, reduce plastic pollution, and promote sustainable fishing practices. Marina's story also became the subject of a popular children's book and a series of animated films. Children all over the world were captivated by Marina's adventures and her message of hope and change. They were inspired to take action to protect the environment and to follow in Marina's footsteps. Years passed, and the world continued to change. New challenges arose, and new threats emerged. But Marina's message continued to inspire people to take action. The oceans remained a vital part of the planet's ecosystem, and they continued to be threatened by human activity. But thanks to Marina's legacy, people were more aware than ever of the importance of protecting the environment. In the end, Marina's story was a reminder that the world was full of beauty and wonder, but it was also fragile and in need of protection. It was up to all of us to take care of the world and to ensure that it would be there for future generations to enjoy. Marina's story was a testament to the power of one person to make a difference, and it was a call to action for all of us to do our part to protect the environment. Marina's legacy also inspired new technologies and innovations aimed at protecting the oceans. Scientists and engineers developed new methods for cleaning up oil spills and removing plastic from the ocean. They also created new materials and designs for fishing gear that reduced the impact of fishing on the ocean's ecosystems. Marina's organization also worked to educate people about the importance of the oceans and the impact of human activity on them. They created educational programs for schools and community groups, teaching people about marine biodiversity, ocean conservation, and sustainable fishing practices. As time went on, the oceans continued to face new challenges, from climate change to overfishing. But thanks to Marina's legacy, people around the world were more aware of these challenges and were more motivated to take action to address them. In the end, Marina's story was a testament to the power of one person to make a difference. She had started out as a curious and adventurous child, but she had grown into a leader and a champion for the environment. Her legacy had inspired a new generation of environmental activists, scientists, and innovators, who were working tirelessly to protect the oceans and the creatures that lived within them. Marina's story was a reminder that we all have a role to play in protecting the environment. Whether we are children exploring the world around us, or adults working to create change, we can all make a difference. The world was full of beauty and wonder, and it was up to all of us to ensure that it would be there for future generations to enjoy. As Marina's legacy grew, it also inspired new forms of art and culture. Musicians wrote songs about the oceans and the need to protect them. Artists created beautiful works of art that celebrated the beauty of the ocean and the creatures that lived within it. Writers and poets wrote stories and poems that captured the spirit of adventure and the wonder of the natural world. Marina's organization also worked to promote sustainable tourism that encouraged people to visit the ocean in a responsible and sustainable way. They worked with local communities to create eco-friendly accommodations, and they developed educational programs that taught visitors about the importance of conservation and sustainable practices. Thanks to Marina's legacy, people around the world were more aware of the oceans and the impact of human activity on them. They were more motivated to take action to protect the environment, and they were more inspired to explore and appreciate the natural world around them. In the end, Marina's story was a reminder that we are all connected to the natural world, and that we all have a responsibility to protect it. Marina had started out as a curious and adventurous child, but she had grown into a leader and a champion for the environment. Her legacy had inspired a new generation of environmental activists, scientists, innovators, artists, and storytellers, who were all working together to create a better future for the world. Marina's story was a reminder that the world was full of beauty and wonder, and that it was up to all of us to ensure that it would be there for future generations to enjoy. Whether we were exploring the world as children, or working to create change as adults, we could all make a difference. Marina's legacy would live on forever, inspiring people to take action and to protect the oceans and the natural world around us. As Marina's organization continued to grow, it worked closely with other environmental organizations to promote global efforts for ocean conservation. The organization's leadership believed that while local actions were important, a global perspective was necessary to create meaningful change. They worked with governments, international organizations, and other stakeholders to develop policies and initiatives aimed at protecting the oceans. Marina's story also inspired new generations of young people to become interested in science and environmental studies. Schools and universities began to incorporate ocean conservation into their curriculums, and young people began to see the value in pursuing careers in marine biology, oceanography, and environmental policy. The organization also worked with local communities to promote sustainable fishing practices and to create marine protected areas. They recognized that the ocean was not just a resource to be exploited, but a fragile ecosystem that needed to be protected. As the organization grew, it faced many challenges. Climate change continued to threaten the health of the oceans, and overfishing remained a significant problem. But the organization remained committed to its mission, and its members worked tirelessly to create a sustainable future for the oceans. Marina's legacy continued to inspire people around the world. Her story had become a symbol of hope and change, and her message of environmental responsibility had resonated with people of all ages and backgrounds. People were more aware than ever of the importance of protecting the oceans and the natural world around us. In the end, Marina's story was a reminder that one person could make a difference. She had started out as a curious and adventurous child, but she had grown into a leader and a champion for the environment. Her legacy had inspired a new generation of environmentalists, scientists, and innovators, who were all working together to create a better future for the world. The world was full of beauty and wonder, and it was up to all of us to ensure that it would be there for future generations to enjoy. Marina's story would continue to inspire people for generations to come, reminding us that we all have a role to play in protecting the environment and the natural world around us. One of the key aspects of Marina's legacy was her focus on education and community engagement. Her organization created a number of educational programs aimed at raising awareness about ocean conservation, from workshops for school children to interactive exhibits at museums and aquariums. Marina also recognized the importance of engaging local communities in conservation efforts. She worked closely with fishermen, coastal communities, and indigenous peoples to understand their needs and concerns, and to develop conservation strategies that were both effective and respectful of local cultures and traditions. As her organization continued to grow, Marina also became a strong advocate for policies and regulations that would help protect the oceans. She worked with policymakers at the local, national, and international level to advocate for sustainable fishing practices, marine protected areas, and other measures aimed at preserving the health of the oceans. Despite the challenges that faced her organization, Marina remained committed to her vision of a sustainable future for the oceans. She believed that with enough hard work, dedication, and collaboration, It was possible to create a world where people could enjoy the beauty and bounty of the oceans without degrading the environment. And as the years went by, her legacy continued to inspire people around the world. Her message of environmental responsibility had touched the hearts of countless people, and her story had become a symbol of hope and change. In the end, Marina's story was not just about her own journey, but about the journey of all of us as we work to create a more sustainable future for the planet. Her legacy was a reminder that the oceans were not just a resource to be exploited, but a fragile ecosystem that needed to be protected. And it was up to all of us to ensure that they would be there for future generations to enjoy.